These are they who have come out of a great ordeal. Well, if that line don't preach itself in 2020, only I don't know that we have come out of our great ordeal just yet. But the truth is, I've always been intrigued by this reading. I've always been captivated by the many peculiar visions found in the New Testament's most obscure book, the book of Revelation. It's different from all the other books, as biblical scholar Raymond Brown notes. Revelation is widely popular for the wrong reasons, he says. For a great number of people read it as a guide to how the world will end, assuming that the author was given by Christ detailed knowledge of the future that he communicated in coded symbols. And Brown is right. Revelation has been used incorrectly for centuries to predict the apocalypse. Eccentric clergy for years have identified contemporary popular figures as the beast from John's Revelation. Hitler, Stalin, the Pope. Even current and past presidents have been labeled as the beast known as 666. Many have assumed certain extraordinary events in our world to be the opening of the seven seals that pronounce the escalating war between good and evil and the ultimate victory of God. Shoot, even among clergy friends this year, a popular joke is, I wonder what seal we are opening today. But when read like this, Revelation is just another sci-fi thriller, just another epic narrative that is only visible within our dreams. On the other hand, as Brown articulates, many believing Christians do not think the author knew about the future in any sense beyond an absolute conviction that God would triumph by saving those who had remained loyal and by defeating the forces of evil. That God ultimately saves the faithful. The portion of Revelation that we read today is known as the multitude from every nation. And indeed, that is the scene. There were people from every tribe and language and nation, a great multitude, it says, that no one could count. And they were singing. I love the response that Presbyterian pastor Tom Tate gives on this reading. He said, it's what the saints do. In the midst of whatever is going on around them, believers always sing. Day or night, in desert or oasis, whether in prison or free, during the calm or storm, they sing. Salvation belongs to our God and to the Lamb. In the vision, an elder comes to John and asks, who are these robed in white, and where have they come from? John responds, Sir, you are the one that knows. And the elder affirms it. He says, these are they who have come out of a great ordeal. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Today, All Saints' Day, we remember those who have come out of the great ordeal. This is the day we acknowledge the great multitude that has cultivated and shaped both our shared and personal faiths. We recall those who the Church has canonized to be remembered for their virtuous and godly living. But I believe it also holds true that on this day we recall those whom we have deemed virtuous and godly, those whom we love but see no longer, who have shaped our lives by their presence. Today is a day of remembrance and thanksgiving and song. We celebrate the people in our lives who have gone through the great ordeal of life and yet through it all remained faithful to their God and to their neighbor. Those who have been stewards of their life through their work and faithfulness and have prepared the ground for those who would follow. You know, this week we have a lot going on. From today being the Feast of All Saints to beginning our annual stewardship campaign, even to the election on Tuesday. And we actually debated in the office holding off stewardship until after the chaos of the election was over. But you know what? I think today, the Feast of All Saints is the perfect day to begin a stewardship campaign. This principal feast in which we look back and name aloud the former stewards of this church who have weathered the storms of the past and created what we enjoy today. All Saints is a great day to ask the question, how do we, as our collect says, follow God's blessed saints in all virtuous and godly living? How do we honor the stewards of the past and live as strong stewards in our day with our time and our talent and our treasure? Even further, I think All Saints is the best feast that the church could offer the week of a national election. How do we perpetuate the work of those previous stewards of our great nation? How do we feel fulfilled the same American promise and responsibility that has been handed down to us? The answer to all these questions is simple, isn't it? We participate. God calls us to participate in this great ordeal. God calls us to be faithful to Him and to our neighbor and to our community. God calls us to sing. And that act, sure, can be done individually, but imagine what it sounds like when we sing with a great multitude. This All Saints, I hope you fondly remember the great saints and stewards that have empowered you to hope and to dream and to live faithfully. I hope you feel the calling to participate and to act within this world, to be a steward of that which has been handed down and entrusted to you through the work of those great stewards of our past. I hope that you give generously of yourselves. I hope you vote, because that's what the saints do. We participate. We faithfully give ourselves to God and to the world, and in return, God promises to lead us to springs of life, where He will wipe away every tear from our eyes, and we will sing. I love you. God bless you. And goodbye for now.